Thanks for tuning in to the TCDSB Assistive Technology Teams video series on Google Slides for secondary students. In this video, we will explore how to format text in a more advanced way. We will talk about bullets and lists and other formatting features that are available to you. To get started, we want to make sure that we are logged into our TCDSB Google Chrome account. And I know I've done this correctly because I can see my student icon in the Chrome browser as well as on my main page. Let's get started. The first thing I'd like to show you is how to insert bullets and lists into your Google Slides presentation. So the first thing I'd like to do is to select a slide with text. So as you can see, I've added some text into this Google Slides presentation, and I'm going to select the third slide. In this slide, I've included fun facts about sea turtles. So I may want to separate these lines using bullets so that it is easier to read for the audience. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to first select by clicking the text box, and you'll notice at the top, the handy toolbar for formatting has appeared. In the previous video, we explored all of these other options about fonts and underlining in different colors, but now we're going to look at other options. So depending on your device, you may or may not see these other options, but these three dots in the right corner will indicate that there's more options for you. So if I click, I'm going to notice that there are two options. I have a numbered list and I have a bulleted list. So if I select the bulleted list, you will notice that each of my sentences and each of my points has a bullet beside it. The other thing I can do is I can customize it. So if I don't like the look of the circles, I can use these little diamonds, or I could have these little check boxes. It's really up to you what look that you like. So I'm going to just stick with the standard circle. The other thing that you can do as well is you can create a numbered list. So a numbered list is exactly what it says. It's a list with numbers. So you can also customize the look and the formatting of each of these numbered lists depending on what you need. So we can use numbers and letters, or we can use with brackets. We can use nested numbers. So there's really lots of options for you to select. But in this case, because it's not a numbered list, it makes the most sense to use a bulleted list. I can also remove bullets too. So here I've selected, I wanted to include the source where I got this information. So I am just going to remove that bulleted list because I want that to be separate. Let's look at some other options that we have in that menu. So back up to the three dots so that we can see the other options. We have a decrease indent and increase indent option. So you'll notice that my mouse and my cursor is down by the source line. So if I wanted to shift my text over, I can do that by clicking the increase indent. So as I click, my text where my cursor is going to shift to the right. If I went too far, I can also decrease the indent as well. So it really depends on how you want your text formatted. These can be very useful. I can also clear formatting. So clear formatting means it will go back to the default setting. So in this slide, I did increase the standard font to fill the slide a little bit better. So if I clear this, you're going to notice that my font goes back to the standard size. So if I click here, so the next option over is clear formatting. So if I was to click this, it will go back to the default settings for this template. So if I go ahead and do that, you'll notice that all of my text has gotten smaller because the standard text size for this template is 18, but previously I had increased it to make it more visible. And if, say, I made a mistake and I didn't want to increase the font, I can go back to the original. But I really like the font size that I had before. So I'm just going to undo. Again, always remember that these undo and redo buttons are here are very helpful because it helps go back to where you were. The next option on this menu is formatting options. So if I click here, you're going to notice a menu show up on the side. So this looks very similar to the images formatting. And you'll see that, we can adjust the size and rotation of that text box. We can also flip the text. Again, it just really depends on what you want to do. You can't flip it horizontally, but you can flip it vertically to make it upside down. So again, I'm not really sure when you would use that, but depending on the effects that you want. We can also rotate the text. So if we wanted to rotate it to give it a different effect, we can do that as well by just adjusting here. Another way to rotate text box is to hover your mouse over top of this dot, hold your mouse down until those crosshairs appear, and then you can adjust the rotation like that. So again, it depends on what your look is, but I'm going to go back to 0 rotation. Position, again, this is where the lineup is. So right now, I always usually keep that to default. I don't usually change much there. Let's take a look at text fitting. So if there's an indentation, we can increase or decrease. If there are special circumstances, like we want to indent the first line or whatever the case is, you can play around. The padding means how much space is around the outside and your text. So this can be increased or decreased. You can notice that at the top, it just shifts it down a bit. And you can do the same with the bottom, left and right. The drop shadow function, it's like if you wanted drop shadow on each of your lines. I find this very difficult to read, so often this isn't really what you would use for text boxes, but that option is there. It really depends on the look that you want. And there's also reflection. So if we want a reflection like we did with the images of the text, again, it's really dependent on the look you want. Typically with text, the most formatting you will do will be the color, the type of font, the bullets, numbered lists, and so on. So that's it for advanced formatting of text. I hope you've learned a few new tips and tricks. Be sure to tune in to the other videos in this video series. Thanks for watching.